What's been the focus this week? You had that unbeaten streak going that obviously ends on Saturday. Is it about that game, or is it about moving forward? Just where do you have the team right now?
No, it's about responding in the right way, making sure that we have a good week of training and look to prepare for Oakland on the weekend. Obviously, a good opponent that we know have scouted a ton, but it's about responding. That's the biggest thing, and making sure that here at home that we certainly bring the right mentality.
As you look back at that Birmingham game, I know you mentioned on the day just the way they kind of switched off early to allow that goal. Is that sometimes all it takes to lose a game? I mean, are the margins that fine?
Well, I think your response to a goal really dictates the remainder of the game. And I thought that our response when the goal went in was really, really poor. And we've talked about that. But it's also, as we just said, it's about moving forward. And, there's a lot of football left to be played, and making sure that we continue to improve and put ourselves in a position that at the end of the performance on Saturday, we're happy with the mentality, we're happy with the demeanor, and we make sure that we represent the club the way that it should be represented.
Are there potential silver linings to all the adversity you guys have faced this year that you could get to the playoffs and say, we've seen everything, or we've been battle tested and we've gone through these things?
Yeah, I think it certainly doesn't. I'm sure the players don't feel that at the moment, but for me, it's how you respond to that adversity collectively. I think at the end of the day, ultimately what we can control is our performance on the Saturday and our mentality on the Saturday. And if we make sure that we learn from these moments where we're switching off and a goal goes in, and how we respond to that, if we learn from those moments, then we'll be in a good spot come the end of the year. Make no mistake, we're not happy with where we are, obviously, but I still feel we have a really talented group. I still feel we have the quality to go on and do something special.
I had a question from Benton, who couldn't make it today.
Yeah.
Just was asking along the lines of when you made that formation change against Indy 11 and Tulsa, you were leveraging a lower possession and you won the games. It felt like against RGV and Birmingham, you had higher possession. You did not get the 3 points. Is that coincidental, or do you feel like, was that something you purposefully did to change?
No, I think game state certainly dictates that. So, and what I mean by that is, once Birmingham scores 5 minutes into the game, it allows them to execute their game plan in an even more controlled fashion, and they're able to sit deeper, which we had already planned for. They're able to put 10 guys behind the ball and be difficult to break down. And when they get the first goal, especially that early, it makes it more difficult for us. And the same could have been said if we get the first goal early against Birmingham, and then that opens the game up. They can't sit back in their block, and they have to go for it as well. So the possession was against Birmingham was certainly dictated by the early goal, in my opinion. But there's some things that we needed to do better, no question about it. I would say that game state has dictated a lot of the possession metrics that he's seeing, and I've talked about it a lot this year, but starting the right way becomes really, really important.
And sort of a second one from him, I guess you guys have maybe flashed looks of a 3-4-3 and a 3-5-2. Is that based on player availability, and could like a Brian Ownby coming back impact the shape that you play in?
It's 100% based off of player availability. Yeah.
And I guess along those lines, what are you looking at for this weekend? We obviously saw Amadou Dia come off early last week, and I know Brian has been working his way back. Can you just update us on those two players?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for us to see Dia again this year. It was a pretty bad injury. There's hope, that he can get back, and I know how hard he works. Maybe he'll be able to, but I'm certainly not going to force a player back if he's not ready. That's the one thing. With regard to Brian, he's been involved this week. I'm hopeful that he can be involved on the weekend in some capacity. He's progressed well. Jorge came out of the game against Birmingham just with general soreness, but he's in a good spot, we feel. Still limited minutes, which dictates some decisions that you can make. Obviously the guys that have been out remain out, and then the other one is Niall is going to be questionable on the weekend as well.
The heat this week, how has it impacted you guys? It's been about the hottest week of the year here, I think.
We started training a lot earlier, but the guys are definitely they're putting in a lot of work. They're making sure that we're getting everything that we can out of training. It has been hot, but it's going to be hot for both teams. So in Tulsa, it was 105 degrees, it felt like. So it won't be an excuse for us.
And then sort of looking ahead to Saturday with Oakland, not often you play a completely different club that you've never seen before. What do they present? And obviously seeing they come off a win last night, but have been pretty well traveled this week.
Yeah, I think really well coached. A blue-collar team, work extremely hard for each other. They're coming off of a game last night, a good result. Obviously, they'll travel here. It's a team that, no matter who they put on the field, as I've said, they're going to leave everything on the field. So it'll be a good test for us. They're a good team. But I feel confident that if we start the game the right way, we'll put ourselves in a good spot.
Thank you.
Thanks.